All right, well, hello everyone watching this. This is a video I've actually been meaning to make for quite a little while now. I'm basically just going to be going over like a lot of the tricks that go into the speedrun, how I do every single level, the thought process, the just demonstration of a lot of the techniques that might be a little bit hard to grasp, and just overall like answering some frequently asked questions, showing off the mechanics of the game, and just overall teaching people how to run the game as like from a beginner's perspective. Um, it, I know that there's not too much in terms of resources available to people. There's the video that AM did, AM being the past world record holder when he was at the ESA like tournament speedrun thing, and there he talks about the run. He's spoken about it in a video I uploaded where he did a little kind of collaboration with one of his friends and spoke about how he did the run, but it's in French, which is obviously not very easy for most people to understand because most people aren't from France. So I figured just making a kind of like an English version, going through every single level with the demonstration of how like just me doing without any audio, showing off the one like as close to perfect as I could pull off during this. I'm gonna include a timestamp as well, just if you want to skip this little intro. So I think with that being said, I'll just I'll get into it. Alright, so right here at the start immediately, I'll teach a couple of the mechanics. So in a lot of the runs that you see people do, like you'll see them constantly jumping like this, just like double jumping absolutely everywhere. And that's because that's the fastest way to travel the game. Like if you were to just run, it's not as fast as if you were to double jump. And you don't want to be mashing it either like this, because you don't gain as much speed. It's good for making more precise jumps if you need to make it to another platform that requires more than just a single jump. But that's the only reason you would ever be like mashing X like that. The second one is going to be, we call it like ledge boosting. So if you're on a ledge like this, or just even like this one, if you fall off, you're still able to double jump out of it. So if I were standing around here and I just double jumped beforehand, I land about here. If I fall off and then do the double jump, I make it all the way to the end practically. So it does add up in a lot of scenarios where you want to like grab, like you want to get better speed. It's the fastest way to travel in the game technically, doing little ledge boosts like that. So you'll see in a couple of runs where we actually utilize it just to get as much speed as possible. It's not mandatory in a lot of situations, for the most part, just kind of style points slash making up a couple of frames technically. But if you're a beginner, you don't really need to worry about these little ledge boosts. But immediately off the bat, when the level starts, we come over here and we do a ledge boost immediately to grab the key up here. The goal is to like collect our, we want to get 9 keys, but we, and by we I mean AM, carefully routed out the location for all the keys that we're going to be grabbing along the run. So you might see a key that seems like just out in the open, but we ignore it. It's like right there we take 2 ledge boosts. Here we take another one. That one's more optional though. I like to go for it just because it saves a little bit of time. Ledge boost there. Very minor things. The skeleton that spawns right here, I like to kill him because sometimes he'll drop a shield throw. The shield throw ability, which is very important for the later stages. Like we need it for the boss, the first boss, just to make killing him a lot quicker. We need him for the second boss, the third boss, not the fourth. But there's some situations where like it is super important to get. Just take a little ledge boost there as well. And now you'll see a couple sections here that people don't really implement all that often. A lot of people will play the beginning, like the World 1, Level 1, very differently from other people. I'm gonna kill this guy though. Now that's a big one right there, is something we don't want to get. We don't want the Mighty Blow. I've lost a couple runs because of it. So basically, instead of doing the overhead slash, which is a very important move that we use later on, I could still do it even though I have the Mighty Blow, but if I'm holding a direction, you can see the button map at the bottom right. Like, just like right over there. If I'm not holding a direction when I do it, I still do the overhead chop, but I could aim it with this, It changes the hitbox a little too drastically, though. It's something that, if you're playing casually, you might like this. I loved the Mighty Blow when I would play through this game normally before I started speedrunning it. It was one of my favorite abilities just in general. But because of that, we can't hit enemies that are spawning out of the ground. There's a couple other enemies that just give us a hard time with it. If we just had the overhead slash, it makes it a lot easier. The final boss, funny enough, if you have the Mighty Blow, it's basically... it's not that it's game over, but it's a significantly harder fight if you don't... if you have the Mighty Blow, rather. So for the section, I like to jump over there. The slow tombstone will actually give you a little boost when you jump over it at the right direction. Otherwise, it'll kind of push you back into the opposite. I like to get that ledge boost there. There's that little section here, that little green spot. You could actually get a ledge boost out of that, but I tend to not go for it. I know that Spiky likes going for it, but I think it's a bit optional. And like this part too, I like to take a low jump, make it up here, rather than... the fastest method of doing it is to just kind of like YOLO jump it a little bit. If you jump beforehand, you're able to skip having to wait for the whoa animation, but the whoa is a guaranteed land. You'll never fail it. Take a little edge boost off that rock there. We jump onto this rock, overhead slash that guy, overhead slash that guy, and then those two spawn, and we get them, and that's the level basically. Not more to it than that, honestly. Alright, now we're on to level 2, where we actually take the left side rather than the right. If you watch the, if you've seen me try to run the beta version of Maximo, we actually take right to left, but that's the only scenario in which we would do that. So, immediately we're on to level 2. And the reason we take level 2 right here is mainly because of the fire sword that we need to kill a lot of enemies in one shot with, rather than using just our regular sword. So you'll see I do a little ledge boost off there. Again, pretty optional, but I like getting those little extra frames ahead. Here is a little trick that I do instead. Low jump there, and then you could always just double jump through the little purple dudes without taking any damage. Ledge boost that. And the trick too for a lot of situations is like try to cut it as close to the edge as possible, or like just kind of not taking paths too wide. Like here, if you sway too far to the left and then go back right, it's like you're losing a lot of time. Try to cut your pathing as close to the actual path as possible. Get 2 little edge boosts there, followed by that one. We just keep going through this. This is a pretty standard stage, but the end section is a little tricky to do properly if it's your first time running this game. Those sections, not too bad. Honestly, you could practice that and get the hang of it really quickly. It's this section though. Overhead slash this guy. We jump slash, overhead chop both of them. That guy and that guy. And that's basically a perfect level 2. The only way that gets even more perfect is if in level 1, if we end up getting the fire sword at the very end. The last enemy we kill, if he drops the fire sword, saves us close to 5 to 7 seconds because we don't have to pick up that one for free. You could just cut to the right side actually. Alright, now we're on to stage 3. If you know, well, level 3. If you noticed in the little demonstration, I actually got the magic bolt, which is a very important ability that we need later on. So if we have a sword enchantment like we do right now, it's the fire sword. If I were to do triangle twice, it shoots a little fire bolt, and each sword does something a little different, and it's very necessary for some later on stages, especially as of Castle Maximo. But we'll get there when we get there. For now, we're on to level 3. Listen, too, most of the levels in World 1 are very self-explanatory, just mainly going from point A to point B, and killing specific enemies to grab keys. And in this level, actually, if you were to compare it to the old world record, there's 2 little tricks that he doesn't go for because they weren't found at the time. And I'm pretty sure it was Spiky who found it out, or at least AM did, back in the day when he did his 100% run. That first trick was one of them, and then this trick as well. It saves a lot of time then cutting towards the left, and honestly it's a super easy trick to get down. If you want to practice this too, I'd recommend practicing it on emulator with save states rather than just playing in console and ripping your hair out when stuff doesn't go the way you want. Because with save states you could at least just kind of keep reloading it and practicing more complicated tricks. But like you saw there, we killed that skeleton to bring us to 2 keys because we immediately use one here. And you might have seen before too, there was one free red key just chilling out in the open. We actually don't go for that because it kind of deviates from the path a bit too much. There's better spots later on for to reach our max keys. So here we ledge boost on this little rock here for a little bit of speed. Go around that guy. And now these little platforms will be, it's kind of based on, they're cycle based, and a lot of levels you'll see are indeed like that. This section's a little complicated too. You want to go around like that, kill that guy, and then you kill this guy too, because if you trigger that guard skeleton right there, you'll have to kill him as well without being able to end the level. And by killing him, it wastes 2 ticks on your fire sword, and if you plan everything accordingly, you'll have exactly 1 tick at the very end of killing the last boss, which is very important. Alright, now we're on to the final level of World 1. I'd like to take a little ledge boost off of this little spot, just, again, just for a little bit of extra speed. There's a little coffin guy that spawns if you're not being careful, so you're able to get around that guy without any issues. So immediately off the bat in this stage, there's one little spot that it's a little tricky to land if you're not familiar with it, but it involves us just kind of skipping one little part here. And we landed this upper platform. See, I failed it. Normally it would have me land on that stage here, and then we can make it over here. You'll know you made it on a good cycle if you take damage there on the fire. Which I didn't, so that means we're losing a bit of time technically if we were to be comparing this to a world record pace run. But it's very minuscule. There's a lot of space to be, a lot of time to be made up later on. World 1's pretty pretty perfectly optimized at this point, honestly. There's not too many more spots for time save, so. And in this stage as well, you'll see it's the first and, well, there's only 2 sections in this game that have little sequence breaks, and this is the first one, and the very easy one to pull off. Just jump on that bridge, and then you'll skip the entire section on the right, jump slash that guy, overhead slash, kill these 2 guys, and then that guy. And that's the level. Very basic, honestly. Alright, so now we're on to the first boss, Ghastly Gus. Immediately right off here, we do not a very complicated trick. It seems like it's more complicated than it really is. It just involves us skipping that little bridge section by going on the little grabby hands. The part that's so difficult is that when you like step on them, it kind of eats all your momentum. So it's a little hard to time the jump just a little bit, but practice it enough times and it's honestly not that bad. So I'm going to demonstrate both ways of killing him. I'm going to show the fastest way with the shield. Just like that. And then you rinse and repeat that 2 more times. So he gets up, throw his shield. Usually by the 3rd time that he does that grunt sound, that's when you're able to hit him the 2nd time. Otherwise, I'll show you right now. If I do it too early, nothing happens. And then you can finish him off the final hit however you'd like, honestly. So you could see in my situation, I actually have more sword charges than 1. Like I said before, you would have only 1 left. It's because we ended up picking a sword charge during my little demonstration, but trust me, if everything goes right, you don't pick up any sword charges or anything, you'll only have one tick remaining, exactly 1. So now that we beat the boss, this will happen for all 4 bosses that we beat. You have the option to pick between the 3 things, the save, a kiss, and the armor. For all our speedruns, we're always going to be picking the armor in every situation. It replenishes your health to full, so you'll have 3 bars of health. It replenishes your shield to full, and whatever sword charge you have, so it'll replenish our fire sword to maximum once we pick the armor. The save game, it's very simple, it just saves your game. That's good if you're playing casually and you don't want to spend, I think it's 75 coins or 100 coins to save. And the kiss, if you collect all 4 kisses, you end up unlocking an art gallery, which is another just casual playthrough thing. So, always pick the armor. Best thing to do in the game. And with that, we're on to the second world now. Alright, now we're on to World 2 Level 1. So right off the bat, I usually take the left side here, get 2 little ledge boosts. I failed the first one, but it's okay. You'll see it in the demonstration a bit better. Jump, and then, oh, I messed that one a little bit. It's okay. So for the little, the vines here, we're gonna jump and then do a little spin attack, but again, I failed it. I'll hopefully demonstrate on this one here. There we go. That's how we get through that spot flawlessly. And then just take this little section here, and then we're gonna get a little ledge boost off of this orange spot there. We're gonna kill this first skeleton, well, the skeleton in the middle there for the golden key. And then right after opening this gate, we're gonna take the right side path. And you'll see why in just a second. Get a little ledge boost off of this spot. And we just keep double jumping all the way up until here. We're gonna take the right path again. And we're gonna jump up onto the little mushroom here. Ledge boost. And we're gonna ledge boost one more time. Make it here without touching the water, because the water will slow us down. So overhead slash, overhead slash, overhead slash, overhead slash, overhead slash, turn and hit, and overhead slash. And that's the level, honestly. That's like as basic as it gets. That's all you really have to, that's all you have to do. It's very self-explanatory if you've done this before. It's a really fun level to practice, honestly. It teaches you a lot of the mechanics that you're going to see later on in the game, like a lot of the ledge boosting and cutting down the vines properly, which even still I have issues with sometimes, so it's good practice, honestly. I recommend the stage a lot. Alright, now we're on to level 2, so now this time we're going to take the right path, unlike World 1. When I would play this game casually, I used to always take the left path first, because I hated the level coming up, and I'm not particularly fond of it, even after speedrunning this, so you'll see why. So right off the bat, this is not an easy level to nail properly, to do the fastest way possible. So immediately off the bat, we're going to go right here. The tar will slow you down, and you're not able to jump in it, so we're gonna utilize our invincibility here, so you don't want to lose any armor on the last stage, and we're just gonna phase through this vine there. The trick to phasing through the vine is to double jump into it at the top, and then just like go as far right as possible. So if you have shield throw too, you need this for this little spot. Hit the little switch, and then you pick up the Mask of Sorrows here, and if you'll notice, our invincibility timer actually reset, so now we're back at 20 seconds again, and now we kill everything that we touch for the next 20 seconds. It's something that we're going to utilize a lot in the later stages, but this is the first glimpse of what it's actually like. Just going to phase through there. Actually, I will pick that up, and you'll see. I didn't demonstrate this yet, but in the game, if you pick up extra armor, a sword, stuff like that, you'll do a little pickup animation on the ground. If you jump in the air, however, and you pick it up, skips the animation. I'll demonstrate it later on as well, but if you watch, I'm moving on the ground. Oh, actually, never mind. It didn't do it in that situation. If I had 2 bars of health, it would have. So I'll demonstrate it coming up, because there's a free piece of armor that you could take. It'll give us the Mask of Sorrows again, and you'll see how long the mask animation is if you don't pick it up in midair. So just this one over here. If I'm standing on the ground and I pick it up, I can't move right now. I can't skip it, can't do anything. So we don't even take that path anyways in the speedrun, so it doesn't really matter. But if you see like a new sword on the ground or whatever and you want to pick it up, even if you have that ability already, like if you see a free fire sword on the ground and you already have the fire sword, it'll still play the animation, so keep that in mind. So now, it does make killing these guys a little bit easier. So like here actually, oh never mind. Every time I try to demonstrate it, I already have the ability, so. With the sword extender ability, if I don't have it already, it'll play another animation when we get it, so. It's something to avoid. That's it. This section is a little hard to do as well without taking a hit, so. Don't beat yourself up if you take some damage. Even in the world record video, AM takes a pretty good beating during it, so. It's a pretty tough one, and honestly, I think in my video, the world record one, I have never gotten a better pace on the stage ever because I ended up getting the little blacksmith ability twice, so I'm able to kill everything with my invincibility. So it's like a 1 in a million scenario, and I got really, really lucky. Alright, now we're on to level 3. Yep, level 3. So there would take 2 little edge boosts just like that. Honestly, scaling the little overhead world isn't... it's not that difficult usually. The spot is a little tricky sometimes. Like, the height of the log is basically the height of your maximum jump, so timing it can be a little tricky sometimes in theory, but honestly it's really not that bad. So for this stage 2, same deal, we're going to be avoiding the water as much as we possibly can, taking little ledge boosts along the little tombstones and on this, the little ledges of like the mausoleums. Just like that, just like that. So this is another, this is a cycle-based level. This is the first, like, glimpse of a really cycle-heavy level, where if you're not playing absolutely perfect, the cycle will vary, and you don't like how unpredictable this game can be sometimes. If you have at least 1 tick on your fire sword left around here, it's perfect. You could kill that skeleton with the 1 overhead slash and not have to worry. We're going to grab the free armor up here. And this little section, you could get a couple of free kills, and like just like that, we might get some abilities that we need along the way. But try not to spend too much time doing this. You could afford to go back to maybe grab 1 item without missing your cycle, but it's like, see, we're still on the, if you see that gel and you still have to wait a little bit, you're on the good cycle. So now, just jump on the first turtle shell like that. I like to kill this guy when I'm jumping because he scares me a little bit, so. Still on the same cycle, but that's not the end because the second cycle is coming up now. Honestly, just making that first cycle is the really hard part. Here, super easy, honestly. If you practice this enough, this level still is, it's a total run killer sometimes, so. Don't let it fool you. Sure, it is World 2, but it is a little relentless, honestly. I still lose runs here. People will lose runs here pretty often. It's unrelenting, especially as a new runner of this game. It has its moments where it'll just totally catch you off guard. You might miss a jump that you normally don't miss ever. So it's one that you really need to be wary of. Make sure that you're still paying attention and not just playing on autopilot. And With enough practice, you should be able to go through without too much difficulty, but it's the first instance of difficulty with the runs, in my opinion. Alright, so now we're on to the final level of World 2. This one isn't an auto-scroller like a lot of the other ones have been, and just right off the bat, again for the silver we're going to need to have invincibility at the very beginning. It's not an absolute must, but I found that it saves a little bit of time for here, like when you're going through the water, and to just skip through the vines. That was poorer, but it's okay. Same deal there. We grab this key underneath the bridge. Brings us up to 3 now. We're gonna get another free key over here. Not that one there. We actually ignored that one, funny enough. It's gonna be right there. Hop along this edge. And as well, on the last stage, if you get a free Pure Blade, it actually saves a little bit of time there without having to go pick that one up, but it's very necessary for the upcoming boss. And then for this guy, we have to delay a little bit. And then same deal. Wasting 1 tick on that zombie isn't a big deal in the slightest. And here as well, if you don't have the magic bolt attack, there's a free one that you could pick up just right over here. If you were to keep going straight here and then down to the right, there's a free one that you could pick up if you're missing it. It loses a little bit of time, but if you don't have it at this point, it's very necessary for later runs, or for later levels rather. So here we just take a little ledge boost onto that spot. And we just climb up here. We could kill these guys if we're still missing Doom Strike, and sometimes they'll drop you some stuff. Try to ignore the mighty blow, and that's it. And now we're on to the final boss, just like that. Not a very difficult level to practice. It's one of the ones that you could get just very consistent at as long as you've been playing the game long enough. So. Alright, so now we're actually on to the boss for World 2. I'm going to demonstrate it in two different ways, one with Doomstrike and Shield Throw, and one as if I didn't have either of them, just to show off how annoying this boss can be. He is probably the most unpredictable, and honestly, in my opinion. Not a difficult one by any means, but it's always a different story every time you go against him. Even still to this day when I go against him, like, I never know what's going to happen, to be 100% honest. Right off the bat, though, we're not going to move. We're going to let him stomp 5 times, and we'll start moving to the right. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we'll start moving. We'll try to get, like, in front of him like this, and then do a Doomstrike. It hit 2 out of the 3, which is fine. And now we're going to just do little short hops and just throw our shield. Kills all the little dudes. And now we're on to this attack again, skipping the entire phase. Because if we don't kill all the little dudes that he spawns, he ends up like shooting a laser at us and wasting a lot of time. So now just same deal, Doomstrike again, and then shield throw the final 2, and that's it. That was a really good demonstration of the boss, to be completely honest. Like, if this was during a run, that would have been a fantastic pace. And as you would have probably guessed, right after we defeat him, we're gonna pick the armor, obviously. So. Alright, now that we picked the armor, we're straight into World 3 now. Alright, so now we're on to level 1 of World 3. This one is basically not an auto-scroller. Well, yeah, it's basically an auto-scroller. Like, the very beginning is based on a cycle, so you don't have to worry about, like, saving too much time. You're allowed to make a couple little errors like I just did with the little icicle guy, and it's not the end of the world, honestly. You'll see where the cycle comes into play, though. But, like, as long as you're playing everything the normal way you would in, like, your PV, you're always going to get the exact same time, practically. So right off the bat here, we're actually going to pick up a Fire Sword rather than the Pure Blade. If I could actually pick it up, there we go. And the reason for that is that you can look at it kind of like in Pokemon, how fire beats ice, and just, like, common sense. So we're actually able to kill a lot of the ice enemies in this game, like... there's an icicle zombie where if you hit him normally, you'll just kind of like clang and you'll have some frames of vulnerability. Instead, it just chops right through him, insta kills him. There's Yetis too, where if you chop them just once regularly, they die instantly. So it's very important for the later runs. And this little trick here, I implemented myself, funny enough. There's very few things I've discovered since speedrunning, but that little trick there, where you just cut to the left instead of going right and then left, is actually a little discovery by yours truly. So we grab that armor for invincibility, kill this guy. Sometimes he likes to drop some abilities we might not have, like Doomstrike and whatnot, but super easy level. We're practically invincible for most of it, so kill all these guys, and honestly that's it, really. And then straight on to level 2 now. Now we're on to level 2. Level 2 is a much trickier level than level 1 was, and this one can be quite a run killer if you're not super experienced with the mechanics of this game, honestly. I still, to this day, when I'm running, I tend to fail the stage. This is, it used to be more of a run ender when I was starting out, but you'll see what's so difficult about this one if you're unfamiliar with the game. So right off the bat here, we're just gonna shield throw that. We don't have to, but it helps with the timing, because this beginning section, it's all about timing, and this is gonna answer a really, like, a very big question that we get a lot. Because when I would watch the world record run and Spiky and all them play this level, I had no idea why they were doing something coming up, and I'll show you exactly what it is. So for this one, we're able to like waste a bit of time because there's actually a little boat that's spinning around on a cycle, and we want to make the perfect cycle so that we could have invincibility while on it to get another free key. So right here, we're gonna grab the this chest, the hidden one, but we're gonna delay. So we're gonna let him hit twice. So he's gonna do one there, and I'm gonna delay, and now I'll grab it. So what I did, I timed picking up the invincibility so that I can make this section a lot simpler, a lot more consistent rather, without having to actually time anything. So you can see the boat lands perfectly here. We'll just take this left side, doesn't really matter which side you take, and kill that guy for the key, kill him if you really want to. Jump so that you don't waste frames from the invincibility. And now we just come up here, let those guys hit so that they're stunned now a little bit, and you're able to jump over them without wasting any time. Pick up the key, jump over them again. Do a little woe jump here if you're a little terrified with the section. I've lost a lot of runs here, not going for this woe. So, just do that. Kill this guy for yet another key, brings us up to 7 now. So we're getting closer to the max. Use our golden one here. And now this section can be a little bit tricky as well. Just tricky to do quickly without wasting much fire sword. So, we're just going to delay. Normally we're able to kill both of them in one hit, but that's okay. Now we'll wait. I'll shoot the fireball at him, do another spin to kill those guys, and now we're going to come up here like this, and then do a little of that. Kills all of them and wastes a lot less of our sword. And just like that, we end the level by using as little fire sword as possible, which is very good as well, because for the final boss, well, for the boss Captain Cadaver, we're going to want to hold on to as much fire sword as we possibly can, because from here on in, I think we only have to kill 3 more enemies before we before we see him, funny enough, so... Alright, so now we're on to level 3. Level 3 is technically cycle-based, but honestly, it's a pretty easy one to get down. So here too, you'll see me run across this ice purposely rather than going for double jumps, because actually running on the ice is like an even faster way of traveling than doing the constant double jumps. It's like the opposite of the water, where the water slows you drastically down, where this one speeds you drastically up. So in this level, we actually there's a new trick discovered by AM, the old world record holder. We're right over here. We're just kind of go like that. Oh, never mind. And just like that, I got it that time. When you're climbing up that spot, you kind of have to mash X to get up it. Otherwise, you'll just kind of fall off and die miserably. So it's a new trick. It's a pretty easy one to nail. So it's not really a stressful one to go for, honestly. But doing that saves you. It makes a much better cycle for the flows that you could see here. I think we landed on it one flow earlier rather than the old method that just involves basically going through that section as fast as possible. So now we go just a little bit quicker, which saves us a good cycle. Because normally on the old method, if you were even if you did it a little bit slower, it didn't really matter because the cycle you were on was about the same either way. So now with this trick, it saves us one little cycle, which is nice. And so up here too, we have another trick coming up that I always say thank you, Spiky, to whenever you see me running this game live. It's really not that big of a trick. You just kind of go over here, jump up there, and it saves you having to go all the way over the left side and over to the right. Maybe saves you half a second barely, but I always say thank you to Spiky for finding out that trick. So here are the 3 more guys they need to kill, the 3 last guys. So that's number 1, that's 2, and then you just go over here for number 3. And boom, this one you could, anytime you do this level, it's always going to be, it's basically an auto-scroller as long as you could land the trick that I landed before consistently. Which, again, practice it enough times, you'll never fail it. Alright, so now we're on to the 4th level. Honestly, this one is a tricky one as well. There's one spot that's coming up in it where it's a little inconsistent. There's a spot, there's a little bridge. If you've seen me run this game, you've seen me lose quite a lot of runs here. If you've seen Spiky on YouTube, he's lost, he had a really, really good pace run die on this level, and I'll show you exactly why. So this part, if you follow the route I took, like, you'll always end up with that same cycle there. Jump up on this one here, the one on the left, and now we're over. Just like that, honestly. As long as you follow how I did the movements, you'll be good. Take the left side of the icicles there so they don't bump you. Right side, right side. It's this spot right over here, where if you're too far to the left, Maximo will do a little well. If you're too far to the right, he'll do it well. But if you stand right there, kind of, if I could land it right. There's a spot where if you stand on it like that, he'll just run off. And sometimes when you're mid-run and you got like the nerves setting in, based on that polygon, that little point, that's the run killer, honestly. If you're too far to the left, you'll do a whoa, and you might think you're just falling off normally, and like it's a split-second decision that could totally fuck up your run if you're not being careful. So try to run off like that without doing the whoa jump, and you'll be totally fine. I'll demonstrate it. I'll do in the run that I'm trying to, in the demonstration, I'll demonstrate it as if you're doing the whoa, or if you're just running clean off as a ledge boost. I'll show off the differences between the two and how it could mess up your timing. But until then, do a little ledge boost there, just jump, and then double jump a little early, and you'll never get hit by those cannonballs. Again, as long as you just follow how I did it, then everything will be fine. We're gonna grab this chest too for invincibility. Try to jump up when you pick that, otherwise I'll make fun of you and call you Spiky, because he tends to get a couple of his runs he ends up picking up that armor without actually jumping in the air first and doing that really long animation for the Mask of Sorrow. So if I ever say you got Spiky, that's exactly what I'm referring to. Love you, Spiky. Alright, so now we're on to the final boss. Well, now we're on to the I keep saying the final boss. Now we're on to the boss of World 3. This one too, I'll demonstrate it as if, in theory, if you had the shield throw and if you didn't, just showing off the differences. So this is a very important boss to have shield throw on, otherwise it will take significantly longer, even if you do it the faster way that I'll show off, but you'll see exactly why. So here, right off the bat, we're gonna go right. Head on over to the right side like that. Throw our shield into him. He'll get lodged in the grates. Perfect. Now we just move back a little bit. If we go too far, he shoots us, so... Oop, I messed that up a little bit, but it's okay. Let him come. Throw your shield, and then he gets stuck in the grate instantly. So same deal. Let him come. Throw it. Once you see his little peg leg kind of get close to it, you're able to throw your shield, honestly. And like that, we get a near perfect fight. If that was during a run, I would have lost like maybe between 3 to 5 seconds. Not the end of the world. It's not super detrimental. If you're ahead of your pace by a lot, it's honestly not the end of the world. But I could do it way better, and you'll see in the demonstration how to properly do it. And I'll even show off the non-shield throwaway. And as you might have predicted here as well, we're gonna pick the armor when she offers it to us instead of the kiss or the save, obviously. So with that out of the way, we're ready for World 4 now. Now on to World 4, Level 1, arguably one of the hardest worlds, especially just to speedrun and play through just casually, honestly. This world involves a lot of damage boosting, so health management is super important. At the beginning there, you could tell probably that it is cycle-based, so you can afford to take up to 2 hits without ending up fucking up that cycle. So just try to take as little damage as possible, though. But you have also seen there that we get a free Armageddon, the best sword ability in the game. Honestly, it does wicked damage, and you'll see towards the end why we needed the magic bolt so badly in combination with this sword. So just playing through normally again. You saw me damage boost twice there. Jump up on that. No problem. We're gonna take another intentional hit here, and we can make it through without. You can normally get through that spot without taking hit, but it's okay. Here too, don't worry about anything. There's a bunch of shit going on, but it's nothing. Good jump up on this and only 1 jump, so it's perfect. Just run through. This guy's not going to do anything. And now we're going to end up spawning. We want to get 2 guys here. So we fucked up a little bit, but that's okay. Get those guys. Again. And again. So, horrible demonstration. You're able to do this in only 1 wave of the sword rather than the like 5 it took me, but that's basically it. So you could see the magic bolt in combination with Armageddon is an insane combination, but I'll show it off better, a lot better in the demonstration, so just check it out. Alright, now that that's taken care of, I'll show you this next stage. So World 4 Level 2, it's not a very difficult one, honestly, but it's one that if you have Doomstrike on, it's going to make your life a lot easier to run this, especially at its fastest. You technically don't need it if you're very talented at this game like Spiky is, you're able to do this next section without needing it. Because if you're really fast, you're able to skip the cycle that you save with Doomstrike. So you can see over there's that little switch at the top, and normally we have to go all the way around up there to hit it, but if you have Doomstrike, you can just come here and turn around the last second, do your Doomstrike, and boom, it flicks the switch for you. And we can make it onto this platform with plenty of time to spare. But if you're fast enough, you don't even need it. You could do the long way and still make it back and make that same cycle. Again, I think Spiky demonstrates it best in his old PB. So if you want to watch like a very talented runner, I'd say check out Spiky, honestly. He's taught me basically everything I know about this game. I knew a lot just by playing through it firsthand. I've been playing this game since I was like 4 years old, pretty much, with my dad. So this little section there, like, there's not too much I could put into words, honestly. If you just watch how I'm playing the stage and just try to replicate it as best as possible, you'll always end up with the exact same results. So up here, we're just gonna get a little tiny ledge boost, just to make clear that little section. Here, if you want to play it safe like I do, I throw my shield at that guy just to kill him. Otherwise, there's a good chance he might hit you, eat all your momentum, and you could actually just fall off there and die. Dodging those two guys without taking a hit is very complicated, so if you can manage to do like I just did, it'll save you a little bit of time, as long as they don't, they can actually launch you forward, so it's not like you lose any time whatsoever, but it's better to just take as little damage as possible. You can see I'm still hanging onto my armor. So here too, I wasn't able to do it, but you're actually able to make it so that yellow loincloth skeleton doesn't spawn, and you could go all the way around without hitting him, or just... People will throw their shields so you could save your Armageddon, but whatever floats your boat, honestly. You don't lose too much time if he spawns. There's a way that if you take the pillars, he won't spawn, so... Honestly, not the end of the world. That's the fastest way possible without taking a hit, how I just showed it off, but if I was able to get the skeleton to not spawn, then we would have had the perfect run essentially for this level. Okay, now we're on to level 3 of World 4. So right off the bat, we're just going to take a little ledge boost right there. This level isn't a terribly difficult one, honestly. This little beginning section here, if you're really trying to just be as fancy as possible, save the absolute most amount of time, there's a good chance you might take some hits to those coffins, which actually do deal contact damage if you're not careful. The whole point is to do it basically how I just did, where we'll make it to this little section with the spinning axes without taking a hit from them. I'm going to play it safe here just because I want to have full armor, but you could kind of just damage boost through that little spinning thing. Take a wide so you don't get hit by that spinning guy. And here we actually get some free health, which is very nice. If you're super low on health, there's a thing of armor just back there if you want to grab it. It'll lose you a little bit of time, but in this situation it's actually super beneficial. So the main reason, like, if you want to play World 4 as fast as possible, we need to do a lot of damage boosting, as you can tell, but we also need to have at least one full bar of health with one tick left on it for 5 hits, because against the boss of World 4, we take 4 hits of intentional damage. So on the 5th one that would kill us, we end up dealing the final hit of damage against the boss and finishing it. So here too, if you get a bad cycle, we got a good one, thankfully. You could just, as long as you're jumping in the air, those saw blades will deal damage, but they won't send you flying back. So here I'll demonstrate it. Just take some intentional damage by jumping through the blades. Again, you want to make sure you're in the air, because otherwise they'll knock you on your ass and like they'll just kind of like hit lock you. And we actually made it through that section very nicely. So as you can tell, I just took a hit there, funny enough, but not the end of the world. We end up making it still with only 3 bars of health left, which is very good. And that saw blade that I took a hit on, if I was standing on the ground just normally, we would have lost like a lot of time, because the saw blades will knock you. Like, they'll knock you down, and you have to get back up, and then if you're back up, still standing in the saws, because they're not going to move for a little while, it could just knock you down again. It could do like 3 times, and you're just stunned, and you're not able to do anything, unfortunately. Alright, now we're on to the final level of World 4, and arguably one of the hardest if you're still a bit of a beginner. Honestly, it's not a super easy trick to go for. I'm going to demonstrate it the slower way too, because it is cycle-based, so at the beginning you're able to lose a little bit of time without actually losing time. So we're going to jump on the brain 3 times here. We're going to walk over and pick up Doomstrike if we don't already have it. In my situation, I have it, so it's not the end of the world, and I can pick up a free potion, which will bring me back to full health, which is very awesome. So ignore the fact that I missed the Doomstrike, so we'll just pretend like I did actually pick it up there. So we'll be able to make it up here without actually losing the our cycle, and with that you end up jumping onto this blade by timing it correctly. That's the hardest part of this little trick, honestly. If you watch, I'll show it off a bit better in the demonstration. It's hard to specifically tell how to tell where you're gonna go. But if you just watch the demonstration, try to analyze it a little bit, you could see that when you see the little the gear start going back up, the closest cog to you, which is the first one to start going up as well, jumping on that one is going to basically guarantee that you're lined up properly to jump onto that spot. But it doesn't really matter in the end, because no matter how fast we go, we'll never make it this cycle. It's absolutely impossible to make the perfect cycle. So if you're still a beginner as well, it might be worth taking the checkpoint that we glanced over, as the section coming up is it's also a little bit tricky sometimes if you're still new. I like to delay a little bit because here too there's another cycle that doesn't really matter how slow you're going because we missed it. So I wait for it to get about halfway down, just about there, and I'm ready to go. So I'll jump up, I'll just keep going up straight, and then we'll hug this one. Angle the camera once. If you do too many times, you're just going to screw yourself over a little bit, and then jump onto this brain, and jump over, kill this guy with a crouching hit, and then a wave attack. And that's everyone. I'll even pick up that just for insurance, but that's the level, honestly. That was my first try at it. I've practiced this level non-stop. It's the one level that I recommend practicing non-stop. Get it through your head. Play this game on an emulator if I haven't said it already. practice it, save state, everything, get good at a lot of the tricks, because ones like this are run killers, especially when you're practically a half hour into a 54-minute run. So you don't want to lose it all here at the very last level of the second to last world. So that's my little piece of advice. This is at one level. This is the level I had to practice the most when I was attempting to get a world record runs. So that's my piece of advice. Alright, so now we're ready to take on Glutterscum, the World 4 boss. This one too, I'm going to show off in two different methods. One method is a method that I would use when I was younger, before I knew about to just damage boosting. And I'm going to show the main method here as well. Like, you'll see exactly what I mean. This is why we need to have a full bar of health plus one extra hit, because we're going to be damage boosting on every single opportunity we have. So right here, I'm immediately just going to keep running along this little blue ring in the middle. And when he breathes fire, just double jump, hit him in the butt. And now we just stand here, same spot, just use that little blue ring for a guide. When he shoots the snot, jump up, purposely take the hit. And then we just keep running, and now we're good to go. Same deal, double jump when he does that attack, and we just stand still and wait. Get hit, and just honestly rinse and repeat. It's a very fairly straightforward boss, honestly. He's going to do that attack. You don't have to jump for it. Just chill on that ring and everything will be fine. And then we take another hit. And so as you could tell, we just have to take one more piece of damage. And with that, it's going to actually knock off one bar of health. A full bar of health. So if you noticed, I came into this fight with full health. And now knocks off one full bar of health. That's why we need to have at least one extra tick on our next bar of health. In theory, if we only had 2 bars coming into this fight. So, we take him down super easy. I'm going to show off the method that I discovered when I was younger that actually allows us to skip the snot phase. It is a bit slower, so I don't recommend going for it if you have enough health, but if not, it's a decent trick to go for. So here, just like every other level, we're going to pick the armor. This one really does matter because we need to have as much armor get in as possible for Castle Maximo coming up. So. Now with that, we are on to Castle Maximo, the longest and most difficult area in the whole game, honestly. Only 3 levels rather than 4, but we're down to 2 boss fights now, so get ready for that.
get some. Come get some. Come get some. Come get some.
So for World 5 Level 1, there's actually been 2 new strategies developed since the world record video I posted about maybe 3 months ago. One of them involves the second and only sequence break, honestly, that has been discovered so far. So I'll demonstrate how to do it. It's still kind of in the works. Like, I've been able to get a sort of consistent strategy down. I'm pretty sure I posted a video about it, kind of the ways to nail it a bit more consistently. But, and another one was developed by a Japanese runner who ended up he found out that there's a certain rock you could step on later on that will allow you to skip the Dark Knights that you're gonna see coming up as well. And the Dark Knights are another reason why we need to have the Magic Bolt, because of the wave attack that the sword generates. Because normally killing the Black Knights takes a long time to do. But I'll demonstrate super easily. You're gonna see it a bunch of times how we kill the Black Knights in the speedruns. Right off the bat, we're just gonna throw a shield at the Magician. Super annoying to deal with. But yeah, this is the first little mini sequence break found by the Japanese runner. We can just jump on that rock and totally skip having to fight him. He has this like pink barrier behind him that it completely prevents you from passing him. Hence why he says no man shall pass. But rather than waste any sword, not like it really matters because we end up picking up a free win on the next level anyways, but it saves us a couple seconds having to stop, kill him, and then go around him. This way we could just jump on a little rock and completely go around him. But the second trick, the bigger sequence break, is much more difficult to pull off than that, and I am dreading pulling it off in the demonstration because I'm gonna have to, if I fail it even once, I'm gonna have to completely restart this level from the beginning and do that trick with the Dark Knight, which is a little more it's a little more accurate than it looks. It took me a couple of tries to really kind of figure out how exactly to nail it, but just like this, that's how we kill him normally. If you get too close to him, it's not gonna actually kill him. It'll just do a little hit and you'll waste 2 hits on your sword, and then you're gonna have to do another wave attack, which will take up another 2 to kill him. So stand a little further away from him. Don't be right up in his face and do it. So stand back, hit him with the wave attack, and he's gonna die. But I'm actually gonna save state right here, and you'll see why. This trick, I might, for all I know, I might be able to pull it off on my first try here, but it involves picking up this key. Oh yeah, see, we failed it. So the trick is we actually will take an intentional hit from the black skeletons, and right as we're falling, the moment he hits us, it's actually going to generate more like distance for us, and we're going to be able to double jump out of that for a very far jump, a very long jump. Hold on. Yeah, I nailed it that time, and just like that, we could skip the entire section. I've yet to pull this off in a speedrun. I've been able to do it just now, like you saw, with that wasn't that hard, honestly, for me to do, but it's not easy by any means necessary either. It's something that I want to work on a bit more to find a much more consistent strategy. I made a video about it on how to nail that trick a bit more consistent than you would have normally. I recommend watching it if you want to try to get the new world record, because honestly, with the amount of time that this trick's going to save, it saves even more time later on, you'll see as well. It's something worth practicing and trying to implement into a run for an even quicker world record. It'll knock off at least 30 seconds, and you'll see exactly why coming up. Now we're on to level 2. Honestly, the demonstration didn't take me too many tries. I'm gonna leave a counter for how many attempts it took me for each level. So, and like a little difficulty scale as well, just to give you a basic idea on how difficult each level will be to complete, whether you're a beginner, an expert, either or. And as you can see, the Castle Maximo is specifically why we've been hoarding all our keys. You're going to see that we have 8 right now, but we had 9. Don't pick that up. I have lost a world record pace run because of that, from that exact boss on that exact same fire sword drop. So, like, you don't have to take as much damage boost as I'm taking right now. Like, a lot of the hits I'm taking aren't fully intentional, to be honest, but with our health right now, we're totally okay. We don't damage boost to the same level that we did in World 4, so. And just like that, that's a really good pickup, actually. Honestly, if you're ever able to pick up the lightning shield, it'll save you a lot of time, and more importantly, it'll save you some ticks on your Armageddon for the final level, because the final level is the one that counts. That is the one that decides if you're gonna break your personal best or if you're just gonna lose an enormous amount of time on it, unfortunately. But you can see we're back up to, I believe that was our 7th key, sorry, because we've been opening up a lot of doors. So brings us back up to 7 keys, and we just fully replenished our Armageddon, and that's gonna be our last like given Armageddon drop. If we want to break world record or get a PB, we need to get at least, I think, 2 sword charges on the next level, or a full Armageddon at some point too. This part of the level is a little bizarre too, because the way the enemy spawn will be completely based on how your little interaction with that guy was. So we come in, kill those 2 dudes with the wave attack. We'll come here, do our Doom Strike, jump this way, jump back here, and hopefully that kills everyone. I'm not 1000% sure though. No, we missed 3, so we'll just come over here, do a little wave attack, get all 3 of them. We even got a sword charge, which is very good, so we're already looking pretty decent with the amount of sword that we have right now. It's not enough for the next level and the final boss, I think, but by having the lightning shield, it saves us killing a couple enemies as they die in 1 hit if we throw it at them as well. So that's another great reason to have a shield throw during your runs, is for the level coming up, and I'll show you exactly why. Alright, so now we're on to the final level in the game, before the last 2 bosses. So, now we can see that we're really dwindling down on our keys, but that's not a big deal. So we're just gonna ignore these two axe guys, and we're just gonna head into this area. Use our another key. So now we're down to 4. And honestly, just if this were a normal run now. Wait a minute. Alright, so I actually had to go back and redo the trick to get to the golden key, actually, because now that we do that little sequence break, we get to keep the golden key with us throughout the levels. So normally I would have taken the cut back there on the left side, grabbed the golden key, grabbed one of the keys, but instead I'm skipping that red key because I get to skip one door, so do that. And now since I have the lightning shield as well, I could throw it and kills those guys instantly, and I don't need to take that path on the right. I could just use the golden key that I've gotten from the last level. From the first level rather. So that's where the really big time save comes in with the new trick, the new sequence break that AM found. So with that, you're not able to stack a golden keys. I've tested that, and obviously the game devs didn't intend for you to be able to hold more than one, so it makes sense why you wouldn't be able to stack them. Since they're like such an important piece for the game, it's at the risk of making a pun, it's a key item after all. Like, you're only meant to have like one, and that's it. The golden keys are meant to open up the areas in the stage that are unreachable without first progressing, getting the golden keys, and then opening it up like this here. So there's literally no way to get past this without getting that key. It makes a lot of sense. But with that sequence break that we found, we actually get to skip that, no problem. So now we're gonna have to start worrying a little bit on our Armageddon usage for the upcoming boss fights. So far it's looking okay. Again, having the lightning shield saves you a tremendous amount of Armageddon. Well, not a tremendous amount, but in the end it could be a run saver if you don't get a full set of Armageddon. You just get a single sword charge along the way. So also, so far it's been a little sloppy, my gameplay for this level. This is a really hard level to get consistently good at. So it's all based on how much damage you take. I think either in my world record or the 54-42 I got, I make it through the whole way without taking a single hit of damage. But that is incredibly uncommon, so don't feel bad if you're taking a lot of hits. This guy could drop some sword charges or Armageddon. I got neither, unfortunately. So now it's looking a little more desperate. If this were a world record paced run, this could be a run over situation if I don't find any soon. So we have a couple sections here towards the end where we're able to potentially get more if we're super lucky, but you never know what could happen. This level 2 is the longest one in the game, and because I was playing a bit slow there, just taking hits and just garbage like that, I didn't get a very good coffin section, so we just have to wait, because this level is cycle-based, funny enough. It's the longest one, it's one of the most difficult ones, it has platforms, and it's a cycle-based level. It's got all of the garbage ticks on it. This level is an absolute run killer sometimes, but not even for its difficulty or length, but purely based on if you have enough Armageddon to take on the final bosses. Because Armageddon obviously deals the most damage, and against Achille especially, we want to take him down in the fewest amount of cycles as possible. So now we're down all the way but down to 1 key, but... Oop, never mind, hold on. Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. That's what I was talking about, the little blades in World 4 level 3, I believe it is. Either 2 or 3, I can't really remember. When they knock you on your ass like that, you get fucking like stun locked, so. Now we're gonna wait for those guys to spawn. We'll do our wave attack and pray that we get some... Okay, we got 1 sword charge, which isn't too bad, but we're praying for a little more than just that, but it's not looking like it will. Oh, never mind. See? And now, just like that, if this were a world record pace run, we would immediately be right back in it because of the sword charges and because of the lightning shield. So that's really good. You love to see that. Now that that's finally out of the way, we're able to go on to the first final boss, first of two, and I think we have enough Armageddon to take him on. So right off the bat, we don't have enough keys, so we're gonna have to shield throw this dude, get our key, and we immediately used it on this door. So we actually end up with an extra key here, so I don't have to kill this skeleton right up here. He gives you a free one, so I'm just gonna pop that right away. Normally, the old route, we would end up killing that skeleton, grabbing a key. I'm just gonna kill the Black Knight here as well, and we're ready to fight Achilles. So, Achilles' deal is,
Little fool!
he could be unpredictable sometimes. So I'm just gonna pray, like, for this one I'll show you, we double jump right away, hit him with the overhead, jump back to about here, that thing can't reach us, and then we hit him again. And now we need to do this part as fast as possible. I'll show you the best way as well. So we're gonna take it from the outside, and we're gonna go from the left. And then we're gonna cut inwards like that, and now every time we double jump, we'll be able to hit it. Because the way Maximo swings his sword, that's actually going to be the best way to hit him. So, now that that's taken care of, we immediately skip onto the next phase because of Armageddon and because of how fast we did it. So, anytime we hit one of these generators too, we want to do it in midair so we're not slowing down. And if you have enough shield throw, you could throw it on the last one as well, just like that, if you know exactly where it is. Over here too, I like to throw my shield at him just so that it kind of stuns him in place so he can't get a free hit on me. And then we just overhead slash him from here. And there we go. Very painless Achille, to be honest, and that's the best way to do it. Otherwise, without Armageddon, it'll take a lot longer. One of Spiky's PBs, he has to use the Pure Blade for it, and he gets a good time, but still, if it was Armageddon, it would have been significantly better. But with that, we're on to the absolute final boss now.
Little fool! You cannot win! Back off!
Alright, so now, final boss. Super easy, honestly, just run into this little spot here. We hit her with the overhead slash here. This is where having Mighty Blow actually fucks us over because it helps to be moving in a direction to aim the overhead a bit better, but if you Mighty Blow her, you'll end up just kind of clanking on her without doing anything. And on the final hit here, we hit her with that, and we had one tick remaining. So that's why we need to have enough Armageddon to take down both Achille and Sophia. We had the perfect amount to take on Sophia at the end, as long as if you had extra ticks, if you missed the first wave attack, you could go for a second one, and like you could just keep spamming. Eventually one will hit. In my in the world record video, I land when I do the first wave, it actually misses. The second one gets her, funny enough. So you could time it a bit better, but I'm not even 100% sure how the timing works on it, to be honest. I've tried different things, and it seems to work whenever it wants to. So if you have enough Armageddon to just spam it, then by all means go for it. But as you saw in my situation, I had just enough to land the one wave attack at the end, so. But that's about it. That's Maximo. That Maximo goes to glory. From my perspective, just giving you guys the little tips. I hope I was in depth on some of the more difficult tricks, but if there's anything I might have missed on, like, please leave a comment. I'll 100% read it. I'll reply. I'll do everything. If you like the video too, please leave a like. I love making the Maximo content. I know a lot of you guys like seeing it too, and I'm sorry there's been a bit of a lull in the Maximo content. I've just been enjoying the content creation in general, but with that, I thank you guys a lot, so. Alright. Take it easy, guys. Have a great rest of your day as well, and yeah, bye-bye.